Oh boy. Yeah. I wanted to try it. That's a lot of fun to jam, but man, when you're not warmed up, it's probably not the best song to start with. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're having a good Monday night. Welcome back. Everything's working here, I think. I hope it's working because I burnt out. Huh? Let me put this thing away for a minute. All right. Yeah. Figured we'd do some 80s metal tonight. Is Joe Hervey? Yeah, see Joe Hervey's in the house. There we go. Joe, so you can't say I don't do metal. All right, let me switch the camera around and go back to this side and we'll get started. Let's see here. Do that and that. We should be back to normal. Let me know in the chat if everything is working. I'm still not convinced this computer is gonna hold up for me because it actually crapped out on me again this week. Last week, actually, on Thursday. She died totally at work. Couldn't even turn the damn thing on. So I had to bring it into an Apple retailer. Not a retailer, but I guess a authorized repair place or whatever. And they were able to fix it, but I'm still having some weird things happening here and there. Like it's plugged into the power and it's saying my battery's not charging and stuff like that. So I don't know if I've got too many things plugged into this setup and it's not able to handle it. Whatever. We'll go with what we have, and if we for some reason you see me disappear off the air for some crazy situation, then you'll know you will have been warned. All right, I hope that was good. The sound, as far as the balance of the guitar and the track and everything, it should be equal, but you never know when it comes through YouTube. It can change a little bit, but we'll go with that. Let me just go to the top of the chat here for a second. Get through. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight, so we'll try to get through everything. And Dr. Guitars is in the house. Mr. Dave, how are you? Nice to see you on a Monday evening. Hope you're doing well in Arizona. I guess you guys are going to be starting to get some good weather now. You always get good weather, but the summer, it's crazy hot. And for somebody who rides a motorcycle, I don't know if I could handle that type of heat in the summer riding. It would be a little much, but I think from this time until probably June, you guys get some spectacular riding weather. Zach Thong, how are you, brother? Nice to see you. Bam Aussie's in the house. All the regulars are jumping in, which is nice to see. Mr. Ben Coombs in the house. How are you? I watched your show yesterday with Rhett Shull. I listened to his podcast today. I like listening to his audio podcast. I put it on my phone, and on my way to and from work or whatever, I'll listen. And he's got some good guests and some good topics that he talks about. So, yeah, cool guy. And good show last night. Thank you for putting that on. Let's see, go back. Upside Down's in the house. How are you? Brad Miller, he's on my, oh, you're listening, you're on your phone. Okay, that's cool. No problem, brother. R3 is in the house. There he is. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well I believe you're in Chicago area, so I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I needed a drink coffee. Let's see what else we've got. We got Joe Hervey, as I said earlier. Joe, you made it in for some Maiden. I'll do another little jam later. We'll go through that once we get through saying hi to everybody. Pete Hickson is in the house. Quentin James, how are you, Quentin? Hope you're doing well. I didn't hear you on this morning's show with Nocturnal, so I imagine you were probably sleeping. I hope you're doing well. And I don't know about if you got a shot, that epidural or whatever you're supposed to be getting, but don't post it. Whatever it is, don't post it. I don't want to see it. Let's see. Guitar Hack, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Trust you had a pretty good gig the other night, I heard. So that's always cool. Showman Blues. Yeah, caught a live show. Awesome. Okay, go down, go down, go down. Again, if you got any thing I need to see, just tag me in the chat so I'll see it, because I'm, you know how I am with this chat stuff. I would kind of miss stuff. Let's see, we gotta go down. Anything else? Phil Mosley music, the man who never sleeps. Nice to see you. Scott Connor, more Maiden. Yeah, I hadn't played that song in so long, and what I do is I did a cover version of it. I did all the tracks and everything other than the singing. Of course, I can't sing that, but I did all the drum tracking on Easy Drummer, and then I did my bass and my guitar. So what I did is I just took out the lead guitar out of the track, and then I put it on my phone so I could jam along with it tonight. But I hadn't played it in, oh my God, it must have been at least 6-7 months. And yeah, probably not the best song to start out with when you're not warmed up or anything. But it's got a cool solo. I'm not doing the solo right, but I can hear it in my head. Like, it's one of those solos that you can basically sing along to. It's got a good melody. So I kind of try to get it as close as I can as far as, you know, the sound, but I'm not a lead guitar player per se, so I just have fun with it. Okay. The older I get, the happier I am when it hit 5 p.m. Yeah, Showman. I hear ya. Let me see. Anybody else that I missed? Don't want to miss anybody. Gary Holt, how are ya? Looks like I've got everybody in here. If I missed you, oh, there's a CN 8800. That's John, I believe. Nice to see you. I hope you're safe. You're in the Moncton area, and I know you got hit with some of that hurricane stuff that was making its way up the coast. Hopefully you didn't get too much damage where you are. David Ennis, how are you, David? Nice to see everybody in here. Cool. I think I've got a Vincent Wieners in the house. How are you? And I think that's everybody. Cool. I think we've got everybody accounted for. All right, cool. So, yeah, let's get into news, and then we'll talk some more about tonight's subject, and we'll go over some stuff. We'll jam another song, and we'll do all the fun stuff. So again, if you've got any questions, let me put that up. Make sure people know that we are indeed live today. There we go. All right, so let me go to the news section, if I can run this spaceship in front of me here. Here's that. So there we go. There's my little news anchorman, right? So first item for all you Van Halen freaks, David Lee Roth. He's going to do a mini residency in Las Vegas. I'm not sure what the show is going to consist of. I imagine he's going to be playing some Halen and some other stuff. But yeah, it starts in January, and he's doing, I think, 3 months or so. He'll be doing a bunch. And where is it at? It's at I saw it earlier. What the hell? At the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. So Mr. David Lee Roth's going to be doing something. So if you're into to Van Halen and David Lee Roth, well, there's your chance to go see him. I'm not a huge fan, but I like the old Van Halen. I'm just not a huge fan of Mr. Roth's shtick. I think. I don't know if that's what you would say, but I don't know. You know how he is. He's pretty much over the top, right? So, but yeah, he's going to be doing something in Vegas. So, I thought I'd put that in the news item because it did pop up on the feed today, and it was something that everybody seemed to be talking about. So, I don't know if you guys are interested. He gets to go seize it. All right, and the other interesting news item: Tool number 1 on the Billboard 200. Can you imagine? We've got a hard rock metal band back at number one on the Billboard top 200. And this is top 200, like not just rock. This is like the top 200 of everything. Yeah, and they made it to number one. That's, 2019, and we've got ourselves pretty much a metal progressive band up at number one. So I don't know if you guys have heard the album, but it's not bad. It's just there's a lot of long songs, a lot of different things on it. It's not for everybody, but apparently it's for a lot of people because they are number one, and I think it says here they sold 270,000 copies in the first week. That's in Canada only. So, yeah, not bad. The cool thing is that they there's two formats that you can buy this album in, and it's one is digital download, of course, and the other one is a limited edition CD, which apparently is sold out already. You can't get them anymore. And the cool thing about that CD is that it's basically has an LCD screen inside of it. So you open it and it has an LCD like little TV, and it plays videos and stuff, and it's got a rechargeable battery in the whole kit. So I guess it's pretty cool to see. But I think it's like it says here that it's selling for hundreds of dollars. I don't know what that means, how many hundreds of dollars, but apparently it's selling for quite a bit. And that's it's on eBay and stuff because it sold out within a couple of days of the release. So, but it's interesting that a band is actually putting out physical media and they're doing some cool stuff. And it looks like there's even a speaker in there, and so when you open it up, it plays videos. You can hear the speaker. It has a 36-page booklet. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. If you're into Tool, there you go. Let's see. I'm just going to look at the chat before I go too far here. John says we're good in Moncton. Couple trees down my neighborhood, Halifax, got it a lot worse. Okay, well, good. I'm glad that you're safe and that you didn't get too much damage anyway. Saw Quentin put, butterflies in here. How are you, Sandra? Nice to see you. Quentin said something about a parody of himself. I think you're talking about David Lee Roth. Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess he's not everybody's cup of tea. Tool, yeah. We've got some people who are in the chat that like Tool. We've got that. The new Tool is good, Joe Hervey says. I've heard like 2 or 3 songs and parts of other ones. I didn't listen to the whole thing yet, but it is interesting. Yeah, Phil Mosley, I'm with you. It says Enema and Latterus. That album was really good. There it is. Unchained, sung like Sinatra isn't a good sound, Gary Holt says. Yeah, that could be what's happening, right? Who knows? Who knows? All right, so, and the next thing I want to look at is looking back in history. So we're September 9th today. So back in September 9th in 1964, Rod Stewart recorded his first single, and it was called Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. And I guess it was not successful, according to this story here. I'm not familiar with that song, so I guess it wasn't, because I don't think I've heard it, or if I have, I don't remember. The other thing that happened in 1971 on this day is John Lennon released his second solo album, Imagine. So that became his first number one album. So September 9th, 1971 is when that came out. So that's an interesting little tidbit, which became a huge song. Imagine it's still today one of the most popular songs ever. So there's a little rock history there. Oh, here's an interesting one. In 1992, Chris, how do you say his last name? Novoselic? He's a bass player for Nirvana anyway. He knocked himself unconscious during the MTV Music Awards after throwing his bass in the air and getting hit in the head with it. I remember that. I remember seeing that, and I think if you Google it or go on YouTube, you can actually see that happen. And it happened live on the MTV Music Awards, so that was On this day, back in 1992, the bass player from Nirvana knocked himself out. I remember that. He threw his bass up in the air. It came back down and he didn't catch it. Well, he caught it, but he missed most of it and he caught it with his head. So there you go. Interesting little fact. 1992. 1999 on this day, Korn won the MTV award for Freak on a Leash. MTV Music Awards. So that's interesting. And I think they just put out an album not too long ago, Korn. So not bad for a band that came out in, well, at the end of the 90s, so 1999. I think they had their first album in 98, 97 or something, but they're still going. They're still going, and they're still producing some heavy music. Let's see what else. Oh, and in 2003, on this day, on September 9th, 2003, we have Velvet Revolver. Came out with their... signed a record deal on this day. So they signed the record deal with RCA, and Velvet Revolver was a super group made up of Guns N' Roses and Stone Temple Pilots members. And the singer was Scott Weiland, but he's no longer with us. So yeah, so those are some interesting things that happened on September 9th back in the day. Interesting. Let me go back here. There we go. Cool. Let me go to chat for a little bit, make sure I didn't miss anything. I wish I could make the text on this stupid chat bigger. Let's see. Yeah, make sure you're on live chat. I was going to say I'm not even on live chat. I guess I'm a hack. I'm a hack at streaming, guys. Sorry. Let's go here. Cool. All right. So yeah, I was supposed to get a new mic today too, but it didn't get here in time. It's going to be shipping. It shipped today, but it's going to get here tomorrow. It's a different mic than this. So you know when you touch it, see, you can hear this, and you can hear everything I do. It's like this mic is a condenser, I guess they call it. So it picks up everything, and I ordered a new one. It's the Shure SM7. I believe it's called. All the big podcast people, Joe Rogan and everybody uses it, and it's apparently really good. And it doesn't, you don't have all this noise around it, and all the screens and stuff don't affect it as much. So I'm hoping to get that tomorrow. So next time I do the show, I'll have a different mic. This one's good. It's just it picks up all kinds of noise. It's so sensitive. Let's see what else we got here. Beastie Boys were my jam in the 90s. Really, Joe Harvey? I don't know. That's all right. I'm not a big fan of rap, as most of you know, so anything that had touches of rap in it, and they tried to mix it with metal, I was like, eh. Mr. Fred Durst put out some stuff that kind of... I mean, it was rocking and stuff. It's just... I don't know. Just me, I guess. Let's see. Tony Iommi was in the band for 2 days, you know. Scott Connor says to Quentin, I must have missed something in the discussion. There we go. Cool. Guitar Hack says, if you're a screaming hack, I have no hope. Oh, man. Yeah, Ben, those Shure microphones apparently are really good, so we'll see when it gets here. I ordered it through work because I needed some microphones for the stuff we're doing at work anyway, so I'll bring it here and try it out, see if I like it. Beastie Boys were better in the 80s, yeah. I don't know. Some of the stuff was okay. It was different. Fred Durst. He gets such a friggin'... He gets blasted on the internet, that guy. All right, so that's good. That's good. So I guess the title of this show was Getting Inspired, and the reason I came up with that topic was in the last couple of weeks I've been struggling with well, I wanted to do some content, and I needed to get back to recording originals and get back into the swing of thing. And then when that computer issue happened a few weeks ago and I had to reformat everything, I lost a few things and had to start from scratch. It was kind of, not that I was not interested in doing anything. It's just that every time I sat here and wanted to start to write or to start to record or whatever, I wasn't finding inspiration the way that I was, a month ago even. So I guess and then what happened was I forced myself a little bit on the weekend. On the Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I kind of forced myself in the studio here, and I sat down and picked up the guitar and started to fool around with some different tones and just to kind of tweak the creative senses a little bit. And I wanted to record a cover song because I hadn't done one for a while, and I do a cover song of a cool band that I like or a cool song, put my own little spin on it or whatever, and then I record a video to attach to it. And so I did that, and the funny thing was that I did it. I pushed myself to do it on Friday, and I kind of got through the recording process, and that went fine, and the song came out really good, and it sounded well. But then I had to do the video on Saturday, and I did it, but I was kind of doing it half-ass. I wasn't, I just wasn't into it as much as I was before, and I thought, well, whatever. I got through it, but then on Sunday, I rewatched it and I was like, you know what, it's not going to work. So I got a kind of a second wind. Everything started coming back and the inspiration started coming back to do the video. So I scrapped the whole video part of it and restarted from scratch. And I'll be releasing that video probably tomorrow or Wednesday. It's pretty much ready to go. What I'll do is I'll actually jam live the song here later. So you guys will you'll know what the song is, but the video part of it will be released sometime. I did release a little clip of it, so some of you probably saw it on Instagram today. And but yeah, now I'm kind of getting back into the zone. But sometimes you get into a zone of your creativity or your kind of drive to write or to perform and stuff is not as strong as it usually is. And so the question came up, what do you guys do when you're, going through that, not even a rut. It's just one of those things where nothing seems to, come through. Let me just have a look here. Daniel Horsley, how are you? I don't think I saw you earlier, but I hope you're doing well. Thank you for jumping in here. Okay, just bear with me here. I'm just kind of trying. Joe Hervey says, I want to hit the lotto. Yeah, I think we all want to hit the lotto. That'd be nice. Okay, you guys saying hi. Chicken Guitars in the house. How are you? I watched some of your videos today. That's awesome. I think you're sounding great. And I wish I could sing and play at the same time like that. Man, I cannot. I can barely do one at a time. I can't imagine doing two. Guitar Hack says, no inspiration. And then I get a different guitar. Yeah, sometimes that's a huge thing. You pick up something different, or you try a totally different tone or a different style, and you try, sometimes that'll tweak something in you that kind of, brings you back to a certain place, and you start to create a lot easier. But I go through phases like that, and I find myself, I can go 2-3 months of just constant, creation, writing, doing videos, it just happens. And then I can go through a month of just like, what am I going to do? I sit here and I'm not happy with what I'm producing. Sometimes the stuff is even good because I'll always have my wife come over and have a look and make sure, because she's honest. Like I tell her, don't sugarcoat anything. Just tell me if it sucks, it sucks. And she's really honest. Like if there's something that she knows it's not up to par or I'm not really putting my 100% into it, she can tell. So she tells me, but she was even, sometimes she'll come in and say, yeah, it's good. But I don't always get that same feeling. But Showman Blues says, Brian, what you need is a break from your routine. Go bowling or go shoot some sporting clays, a day of fishing. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Showman. That's true. Because when you're doing the same thing over and over, and if it's all music and it's all video creation or like, and I do this for a living as well, not the music part, but the, you know, video production and photography and so forth. So it's a huge part of my life. So sometimes, I find my photography, that happened to me a few years ago. I was so in depth with photography. Like I had gone probably 6 years of hardcore, just every day. If I wasn't doing photo shoots, I was studying, I was going to courses. I got just overloaded with it. And, you get burned out, and it's not, when you get to that stage, it's dangerous because you could lose interest in the thing that you're really good at it, that you really had a passion for. So I think that's a good suggestion here that Showman says. It's, take a break from it and go do something totally different. And then you'll find your way back to that thing. And that's true. And that's what I did with photography. I took probably 2-3 months of not doing a lot of it, just doing my, if I had an assignment or I had a photo shoot that I had booked or whatever, I did that. But my personal projects and stuff where I used to do them every weekend or every other weekend, I just stopped doing them. And then I started to get that itch again. I know it's always there. It's just sometimes you need to take a break from it. So Scott Connor says she can flat out sing. Yes, I agree. Chicken Guitars is a very good singer. Bam Audie says sometimes just doing something else works, and then come back, be creative things when the mood is right. Yeah, that's exactly what Showman and everybody seems to be saying. And I do that, but for some reason this week has been kind of a weird week. I've been struggling with more technical problems, and that puts your head in a different zone, and then you sit down and you want to get something done. But it came together, and now I'm back in that zone, and I'm looking forward to creating some more stuff this week. So, yeah, Quentin says, I just walk away from it, come back after my head is cleared. Seems to be the consensus throughout here. Cool. All right. Sing it, bro. 6 string. I'm going hungry. I can't sing that song, Jason. How are you, Jason? Nice to see you. I'm going hungry. Yeah, I'm not going to do a Chris Cornell song. Jesus. I'm not going to start my singing career with one of those. Good Lord. Hey, Eddie Vedder in the house. Yeah. I'm sure I'm missing some of your stuff here, but I'm just trying to keep up. So bear with me. Quentin says, try cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine. All right. No, I don't think you'd want to see me on cocaine. I don't think so. My work is as tedious as guitar. Photography has to be the same way. Yeah, it is, Showman. And, once you get deep into that stuff, there's a lot of stuff that you need to know about and you got to get involved with. And it's a lot more work than some people will actually realize. 8 strings, damn, 6 isn't enough. Guitar hack, you want an 8 string? I don't know about that, brother. I tried a 7 string guitar once, just wasn't my thing. I used to play 5 string basses and I got, used to doing that, but the type of music we were playing, it lent itself very well to that. So, but even today I'm playing 4 string bass when I'm playing bass, and that's what I'd probably play all the time if I was back in a band playing bass. Let's see. Okay, you guys there. Okay, I've got a couple of things down here. Brad Miller says, Brian, don't have a lot of creative time. My cover of Phil's backing track was the first thing I did in a while. Finally showed my wife, and she was surprised how it came out. Cool. Yeah. yeah, I think the doing stuff like that will always, get you doing a lot more, not just the backing track stuff, but it kind of, tweaks your creative juices a little bit, and it gets you doing some other stuff. And sometimes, that can lead to even more like originals and that type of stuff. I like doing covers once in a while, and it just kind of breaks things up a little bit. And, I kind of come up with the video concept isn't crazy or anything, because, I'm not in a multi-million-dollar studio. I just have what I have, and you make it work. But yeah, it can be a lot of fun. And I hear you, Brad. Yeah, try some stuff like, Phil's backing tracks are awesome to take a crack at and do some cool stuff with. Not every day is creative day. Sometimes just playing or practicing. Sometimes you want to improve enough. Not everyone who is very professional. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I hear you, Bam. All right, so let's. Phil mostly says, on my next live show, I will demonstrate how the backing tracks can help you feel if you feel lack of creativity or in a rut. Cool. Yeah, when is your next live stream, Phil? Yeah. You can post it in here if you want. Chicken Guitars is wrestling a kid into the bathtub. I've got my hands full. All right, Chicken, just, do what you got to do. Don't hurt yourself. More metal. All right, so why don't we do this now? It's 7:36. So let me do. So the song that I did a cover from is one of my favorite songs growing up, actually, and it's from a Canadian artist. And I'm sure most of you know it. But let me go to see if I can bring it up here. That. All right, so I'll jam it, and then yeah, we'll have some fun. All right. Okay, so I think I'll keep my mic on this side. I'll turn around once we're done this little jam. So this is the next cover song that's coming up for me. So the music you're hearing, everything is recorded in my recording software here. I didn't do the singing, obviously. The singing track is from the karaoke place or whatever. They have this singer. So I did all the drums and the bass and the guitar, and yeah, we'll try it. All right, let's see if this thing is still on. It should be. There we go. All right, I think we got it. It's good enough. Let me turn up my monitor. Just getting my in-ear monitor set here. All right. All right, let me change I'll mute my mic, and we'll do this. Enjoy. There you go. That was Fantasy by Aldo Nova. That was one of my favorite songs as a kid. I always loved that riff. I just thought it was heavy, and this we're talking 1983. Would that have been 1983, 84 in that general time span? So yeah, Aldo Nova, man. Apparently, he wrote a bunch of songs with John Bon Jovi and stuff. So he's he's written a lot of songs for a lot of artists, actually. So he's not an active. Well, I don't think he's putting out albums anymore or anything like that. But he's still active in the music scene. Hold on, let me change my camera here so you guys can actually see me. That would help. All right, so that's cool. So what time are we at? 7:43. We're doing well. I'm just gonna go in the chat. Cool. All right. And that solo is kind of interesting to do. I don't even know if I'm doing everything right, but that's kind of the gist of it. Let's see. One of the heavier riffs that actually got airplay back in the day. I know, right? I was, one of those songs that kind of stuck with me forever. And every time I hear it, I, crank it. Let's see. Scott Connor, cool. Howdy. If you got anything you need to have me see, just make sure you tag me. So that was using the Helix, of course, and the R9, and I'm using a patch that I built using the Angle amplifier. Yeah, so that's the Angle amp. I don't know if that's what a real Angle sounds like because I've never tried one in real, like the real one, but it sounds pretty good in the Helix. So I was using the Rev amps for a long time since that new update came out back like a month ago or whatever. And I still like it. I still use it a lot, but I just wanted to try something different. So I tried this and kind of liked it for that sound. Cool. All right. Let me put this back here so that I don't screw it up. So that's the song that I'll be releasing the video of that song, me playing it and all that stuff, sometime tomorrow or Wednesday. I think I'll release that. So we've got a little bit about 15 minutes left. If you guys want to talk about any subject, any subject, within reason. If you got any questions for me, you can go ahead and tag me in the chat, and I'll try to answer it. If I know it, I'll answer it. And what else is coming up this week? I don't know if I will. I will try to stream sometime on Thursday or Friday. I was going to do that last week, which I said I was, but that's when the computer died and I had to get it all fixed and stuff, so I couldn't go live in the afternoon on Thursday or Friday of last week. This week I will try to do it on Thursday if I can, and we'll go over more Helix and recording stuff, I think, at that point, because I would like to do a live stream kind of focusing on that. This show Monday nights is more of a general thing. We do all kinds of stuff. So if you like to geek out a little bit or on Helix or in recording or more technical aspects of all this stuff, I'll try to do something on Thursday afternoon. I hear Rosewood is back on the market after some. Yeah, there have been some changes to the CITES stuff. but I'm not really up to date on what it is. I don't know all the specifics, but I know there's been some changes, and that it's going to be a little easier for manufacturers to ship guitars with rosewood and to start using rosewood again. I don't know if they're limited to what they can do or how much, but there has been some changes there. Scott Connor says, you know, that riff is better than some bands' entire careers. I know, right? Aldo did have a couple other big hits, not as big as that one, but he did have a couple other ones. But then I don't know, I haven't heard all this stuff, but the album after Fantasy was pretty good, and then the one after that, it started to kind of go a different direction, and people started to lose interest, I think. So, but he continued as a songwriter for a lot of artists, and he's done well for himself at that point. I heard an interview with him just last year. I think it was with Eddie Trunk, and he's from Montreal, and I think he still lives in Montreal, I believe. So, it's only for completed instruments, but I think it still affects them for importing the raw wood. Oh, okay. Bam Ozzy seems to know some stuff about that new CITES change or whatever. So I haven't read up on it enough to be able to give you guys the gist of it. Guitar Hack says, how do you set up backing tracks to play over live? Well, it depends. I mean, sometimes you can just take the original song or whatever, and the way that I have it set up through I have my phone connected to my mixer, so either I download the track online as an MP3 and I email it to myself, and I open up my email in my phone and I hit play. I play the MP3 right from the phone to my mixer, and then I just kind of adjust the levels so that my guitar and the backing track are close enough to each other. But like Fantasy, the one you just heard, that was, I did all those tracks other than the singing, and I just, exported an MP3 out of my recording software, and that's what I played to. Same thing with the Trooper track that you heard in the beginning. That's the same thing I did on that one. But, you can download a real song, like the real thing, the real artist. You will get probably copyright or whatever. And like I will on this, I'll get a copyright claim, but it's just a claim, and it tells you you're sharing monetization, and it doesn't matter. I'm not monetized anyway, so that part. But that's how I set it up to do the backing tracks. You just have to have with OBS, you're using OBS, so you just have to have another source, like you would plug in another input on your sound card. If you've got a couple inputs, you've got your mic in one, and maybe a phone or an MP3 player or something in the other. Just find the right connection to it. You can go, mini jack to XLR or a 1/4 inch and go right into your interface, and then just adjust the volume there and just play guitar through it and just kind of balance it out as good as you can. Best way to do is to record it. Don't stream it live. Just go in OBS and hit record it, and then listen back to it and see how close you are as far as your guitar and your backing track together. So yeah, it's not real complicated. It's just there's different ways of doing it too. You could even load up an MP3 file right in OBS and play it from there and just jam along to it. But with that stuff, you have to make sure that it's in sync. So you could be playing guitar and the MP3 will be playing in OBS, and you might be a little bit off video and audio. So, because I have to add a delay on mine here, but if I'm playing it through my phone, I don't have to worry about anything. It's pretty much in sync everywhere. Completed instruments and parts, I think basically anything that is prepared for use in musical instruments. Oh, the CITES of rosewood, yeah. For us, it shouldn't be an issue. That includes traveling with rosewood instruments. Okay. Phil says you can play it from your computer, have desktop audio as a source. Yeah, you can do that too. You can go in OBS and set, another source in your scene, whatever. It can be the desktop audio, and just play it right from there if you want. I just do it with my phone because I find it easier to just basically, have the phone next to me and hit play and go through my mixer. That way in the mixer, I can adjust it separately from everything else. I can bring it up or down as far as volume. So that's how I choose to do it. But yeah, you can do it with with your interface or right through the computer, right into OBS. Did anyone watch Stolen Skins Famous video? The one with the wood store was it? I didn't see it. I saw it come up on my feed, but I hadn't had a chance to go watch it. I watched the one that had they were showing how he did the necks and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. I did watch that. But I went to visit the custom shop Gibson factory when I was in Nashville and saw a lot of that type of process taking place. So it's pretty cool when you see it, live, and they show you all the work that goes into it and the techniques that I'm still amazed by the technique that Gibson uses to do their binding. Like they actually still do it old school where they wrap it with this, it's almost like shoelace material or whatever, and they wrap the whole guitar. They put some glue on the binding and it goes around and they wrap it and it sits like that, I think, for I think a whole day or whatever, wrapped, and they hang it somewhere, and then the next day they take the wrapping off and the binding is completely everywhere around even the curves, everything is well fitted. So it's pretty cool. Chicken guitars, no, you're not missing anything. We're just getting ready to wrap up anyway. We've got another 5 minutes before the top of the hour. But I'm going to say thanks to everybody. Hey, Dave, rockin' Dave Byron's in the house. How are you? Thanks, Brian, for all your help, bro. I really appreciate it. Hey, no problem, man. Anytime. Is Brian there? Believe it or not, Gibson Custom Shop makes more guitars in a day than PRS make core instruments. Really? Yeah, they do make a lot. Well, I think they said the binding, there's 3 girls that do the binding, actually, the scraping of the binding, or anyway, and I think they do about, between the 3 of them, they can do about 50 guitars a day. Something like that. Rocking Dave says it's storming down there, so I hope it goes up. Welcome to Florida. Yeah, I thought you guys were done with the storming for a little bit after that hurricane got through. You guys didn't get hit too bad, I hope. No problem, Joe Hervey. I'm glad you were able to make it tonight. So nobody knows anything about Ibanez. I haven't heard anything lately, Pete Dixon, on Ibanez. Not sure. PRS aims to make 40 core guitars a day. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Different companies make a certain amount, but I know Gibson is like... I was amazed at the amount of stuff that... I didn't even go to the main factory. I went to the custom shop, and the stuff that they were producing there was amazing. And some of the work that I saw going on was really cool. But I didn't go to the main factory, and apparently that's really cool to see as well. But I just didn't have a chance, or just too many things to do, so little time. So I kind of had to pick and choose. But I was fortunate enough to get the invite to go to the custom shop, so I jumped all over that. Dave Byron says we have 2 more hurricanes to watch. Oh, great. Jeez. It's getting worse every year, man. It's like, if it's not a forest fire or something, it's a hurricane. And if it's not a hurricane, it's going to be, for us up here, it's like they're saying winter is going to be worse this year with more blizzards and stuff. It's like the weather is going insane. The planet is giving us her thoughts, I think, because she's man, some weird stuff is going on. Flooding and all this other stuff. Crazy. Pete Dixon says, ask the question so nobody seems to know. Is your question regarding the Ibanez? I didn't see. I only saw there you said something about Ibanez, but I didn't see the actual. Okay, I see. If anyone know if an Ibanez SA260 FM is any good? I don't know. I can't say like I'm not an Ibanez guy, so I probably wouldn't be the guy to answer that question. But if somebody in the chat can answer that question for Pete Hickson, please do. Again, I'm still fairly new to guitar in general, and the ones that I kind of gravitate to are your not Gibson and even Fender. I'm kind of so on because I've got a Strat and a Tele back there, but they're not Fender. They're Friedman and SMEER. So I'm more of a Gibson kind of guy, but I'm sure somebody in our community knows that answer for your Ibanez question. So hang in there. All right, Jason, go get yourself something to eat. And yeah, it's 7:58. I want to say thanks to everybody. Let's go over what we're doing this week. We've got something happening maybe on Thursday afternoon. If everything goes well, I'll do another stream then. We've got next Monday night, and then watch for a video that I'm going to release that video for Fantasy. The song we just jammed to probably tomorrow or Wednesday. It's ready to go. I just want to release it sometime midweek. So I did post a little clip of it on Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can go ahead and do that. You can see there 6-String Brian, and Facebook is 6-String Brian as well. And I'll be posting some more stuff there this week. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other streams going on all week with our community. We've got Guitar Hack, we've got the Live Wires, we've got Eric's channel, Gear Network. Am I missing anybody? Ben's on in a minute. There's so many people that stream now. It's so hard to keep track. Rocking Dave puts out some great content, so check out his stuff. And yeah, there's always somebody streaming. Mitch, even I was watching Mitch Heyman's stream the other day. He's doing some good stuff too. So let's call it a night. We're at 7:59. I think Ben is going on now. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you had fun. I'm not sure what the agenda is for next week. I'll figure that out as we get through this week. And well, I'm sure we'll be talking guitars. We'll be rocking. We'll be doing some cool stuff. And hopefully my computer doesn't blow up because I'm not too confident with it. I'm a Mac guy and I love Macs and I've never had issues, but in the last month I've had so many issues with this Mac. It never happened before. So fingers crossed that it stays up and running for me because it's so frustrating. All right. So until the next time we speak, we'll see each other in other chats. Make sure you support each other. Get on the other shows and grow the community. And we will definitely meet up again on the next live stream. Till then, let me pull that down and pull that down. And I will say good night, folks. All right, take care.